Who am I and who are you? The ultimate questions for who we are as whole beings experiencing on this earth in this human journey. And to find the answers to these questions, we are going to be sitting down and exploring the minds for the wisdom and knowledge of the layers that make up our beings. From the mind, to the emotions, to the body, and to the astral with the light body. We will be exploring these different multi-dimensional aspects of who we are as the I Am presence in this world on earth, in the human experience. We'll get to have fun, cracking smiles, and diving deep into the knowledge with different psychics, intuitives, shamans, coaches, teachers, practitioners, and many more different beautiful conscious souls of the everyday life to gather the information we need in order to unravel these layers and become more aware and present in ourself as the whole I Am presence that we are. And I'm very grateful for this and really look forward to the journey. So thank you all for tapping in and being a part of this. And I am your host, Marcus, aka Christolight, and I will be on this journey with you from the beginning to the end as we travel through the process of clearing layers. Hello, welcome everybody that's going to be tapping in and tuning in to this live episode of the process of clearing layers. And I am your host, Marcus, aka Christolight, here for episode number 2 of the process of clearing layers series. And on this episode, we are going to be touching and diving deep into Orgonite and Orgone power, and what Orgone and Orgonite does for our being, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And we have our first authentic soul guest joining us as well on the process of clearing layers series. And this guest is a wonderful brother of mine. He currently lives in Canada, originally from Arizona. And he has been an Orgonite for 4 years now. And he also has his own independent business through Orgonite and EMF healing protection products. And his name is Quinton. And he also goes by GoldenSun. And he is the independent owner of Goldensunorgon. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead into the layers of Orgone. Okay, we're here. Hey, wholeness and balanced love, everybody. It is Marcus, aka Christolight, and before we hop back in and get this one-on-one conversation on IG Live going from this past Sunday with myself and our first authentic soul guest, Quinton, GoldenSun of Goldensunorgon. Just wanted to check in with y'all, see how you're doing. And I trust that we are becoming more conscious and remembering who we are in our wholeness by day. And, you know, this episode is very juicy, and it's very much packed with a lot of really good nerdy knowledge. Yeah, and I said nerdy knowledge because it gets into the scientifics, we get into physics, we get into the quantum level, we get into metaphysics, as well as other holistic things that we can intertwine with Orgone energy for your everyday benefit and well-being, such as mixing Reiki and other energy practices in with utilizing Orgone technology. And our brother Quinton here, he actually works with some other things besides just Orgone called gans, and these gans and also orms are sprays and different compounds that you can take, and in a micro level it'll help feed your cells and do some other things as well, which he'll touch upon here in this live. And we're coming across some really powerful information and knowledge that we can truly integrate into our everyday lives and utilize the support of practitioners and crafting creators like myself and Quinton. And you'll find that through your own empowerment and support like us that are helping you empower your own self and helping you regain your own power, and remembering that you are capable of kickstarting your own healing process, we are able to navigate away from all these hospital bills, all these doctor bills, all these appointments with doctors that are just prescribing us pharmaceuticals, setting us on the way, that are not trying to figure out the deep-rooted cause behind why there's a disease or a disorder or cancer throughout the being. And that's what being holistic is all about, is diving deep and getting to the root cause of why something has became what it has been. And then you go into those layers, you go into the roots, and you start dissolving it one layer at a time, peeling it like an onion, as we say. And that's how we truly regenerate and bring our whole harmonic resonation flowing, is peeling those layers, becoming conscious and aware of how it became that way. So then we're not repeating the cycle of doing the things that got us there in the first place. But we're gonna go ahead and hop back in. This is the live from this past Sunday on the 15th, and this is at noon Eastern. And this actually took place in Georgia. I was traveling from South Carolina to Georgia to meet up with a good brother who you'll see later on in this series. And I went to a mushroom market, mushrooms for like cordyceps, reishi, lion's mane, all that good stuff. And I had a beautiful experience. I met a lot of beautiful souls, independent business owners, and beautiful souls that had stories from getting treatment and healing through medicine, such as these different mushrooms. And it was a really good, genuine time. And I pulled up to a Jason's Deli to get some Wi-Fi, and this is where I had the live at, was Jason's Deli. So we'll go ahead and get back into it. We'll go ahead and listen to the beautiful science and knowledge, and intelligence that our brother Quinton has for us.
How's it
There
going?
he is. Hey,
Hi,
brother.
all.
A grand day.
Great day to
How are
you
you
as
today?
well. Feeling good, feeling good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. It's been a adventurous morning. I live in South Carolina and decided to drive out to Georgia today. So I'm gonna be going to a mushroom market later on to take a look at, reishi, lion's mane, turkey tail, all that good stuff. And then I'm
Mm.
meeting up with a good friend, and we're gonna go hiking a little bit later on. So I'm out here in Georgia, and I had to search and find a free public Wi-Fi spot so we can get this rolling. And I'm here at
Blessings.
Jason's Deli here in Georgia.
It's a town favorite. I used to go there all the time. You know what my fondest memory is of that place? Me and my cousin we'd be like, I bet I can eat more ice cream than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. You're on. I ate 9 freaking ice creams after that meal I already ate that day. Anyway, good stuff.
Oh man, I bet you were in a coma after that.
I was not feeling the best. I was not feeling great.
Well, I want to say thank you for being part of this series and part of this intention. And thank you for being our first wonderful, authentic soul guest in this series, the process of clearing layers.
My
And
pleasure.
for everybody out there, my brother Quinton, he is the independent entrepreneur and owner of GoldenSun Orgo. And
Goldensunorgon, ameliorate EMF waveforms, increase your manifestations, harmonize, accumulate life force. Oh, oh yeah, we got
mhm,
we got some fun stuff to share with you guys today. Maybe a little about my journey and how these devices can help us. Would you guys like to know more?
and before we begin, for everybody out there that's tapping in the comments that's live, if you have any questions throughout this session, feel free to drop them down below in the question box right next to the comments, and we'll get to them as we can and answer them to the best of our ability. Thank you guys all for tapping in and being here and supporting. And I'm going to go ahead and break us in. And first question I got for you, my man, is how has it been since you've been on this Orgone path? And what did it look like in your experiences that led you to drawing and being attracted to using Orgone?
Okay, so what did the beginning of my journey look like and how did it develop essentially, right? Okay, I just want to make sure I understand the question before I start answering it. So here's what it looks like. It looks like I'm living in the desert in Arizona, and I'm living in like a rural area, and it's like nice, and then I move to an apartment, okay? And I'm working this job, and it's just like there's I'm using all of my energy for getting this apartment and all this stuff, and I've always been really into health, right? I always like to feel good, so that I can, live the best life I can, right? So I entered this apartment, and a while goes down the road. I'm like, man, I'm just so exhausted. What could it be all this change, And so I'm starting to realize, I'm like, hey man, these cell phone technologies are really getting progressive. Like we've got like what do we got like 6G coming out soon, possibly, right? Like the telecom communications are getting really wild. It's like 6G that's coming out soon, right? You've heard about that?
I haven't heard anything about it yet, but I'm not surprised the way that they keep rolling out.
Sixth generation of telecom and communications. So essentially, our phones are pinging these waveforms, electromagnetic waveforms, these messaging systems, and our bodies, this conductor dielectric energy is pulling in all these waveforms and it's distorting our consciousness, if you will, causing you know, cellular, you know, reproduction, right? So I've got the phone, I've got my computer, I've got my modem, my roommates have their phone computer modem, above us, phone computer modem, below us, phone computer modem, uh, you know, 1,000 feet down the street, cell phone tower, you know, rings of smart meters all over the apartment complexes. There's so much EMF, electrosmog, uh, you know, waveforms being sent back and forth, back and forth. You're in a freaking war zone of, you know, AI, right? So this really affects the nervous system, okay? And there's sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, and basically when you're in a fight or flight mode, the nervous system is not able to regenerate very much. And so when you're getting all these, you know, pings back and forth, your brain's like, hey bud, we're in this distortion, right? And so but now we're living in this soup of electrosmog. What can we do? How on earth could we possibly ameliorate these waveforms, right? So I look for a solution, and it's shungite. It's this shungite crystal, conductive. Nancy Hopkins is like, hey, this crystal rotates at 2.8 billion cycles per second. This crystal is able to take the you know waveform and ameliorate it within like 4 seconds. Through their studies. So I'm like, let's try this shungite stuff out, right? So I get some shungite. It's cool for a while, but it's not enough. It's not enough, fam. So I'm like looking for this tech. I'm like, I see these blue shield techs. Maybe these are some sort of offset. And I'm like, this is cool, but like this is not it. I just don't feel this is it. And so I find an Orgone builder, and I get a piece of Orgone from him. It's a pyramid, okay? So these pyramid shapes have the ability to ameliorate the waveforms. They release blockages, they increase manifestation. We can get into that more. But the main thing is I got this orgonite piece, okay, and it's loaded with atomized metals, all these conductors, and the resin's dielectric. And you can stack these, and it creates this, waveform amelioration device, like way stronger than just shungite. So I'm sitting there with this new pyramid. I'm having vivid dreams now. I'm waking up feeling rested and restored, right? And I'm like, this stuff is phenomenal. I've come upon something new, and I don't know how to explain it. I'm just experiencing it, and I want to share this with more people, and I love to create this stuff. So I think we're going to move forward here with this, but I've got to learn how to, uh, give the ego a little bit of sauce, so you can be open to receive for some people this new technology, and so you can integrate it into your life. And so I'm like, how do you teach people how to use this stuff, started understanding it. So basically, what it looks like, just to wrap up the question, that's what it was looking like. It was, sick every couple of days. It was, feeling dizzy, unclear, and now I'm in a place where I am only, making Orgone and, Ormus products and, these healing modalities. And that's all I do now, and so here we are. I've got so much freedom of time. I've got, this wonderful group of community. Like, I've got you for one. Like, this is a blessing, right? And so many more. And I just like cherish everyone's we got this relationship, and we're working towards like this new mental structure as all of us together, so we can bring about the golden age, just to say, like this new idea that we need to reinvent how we're living. What I'm saying? These old structures and programs that have been foisted onto us via the Matrix and stuff like that. They gotta go. They're not serving us anymore. So that's the question for now.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that and giving us a little bit about your backstory and what has gotten you so passionate about sharing this orgonite. And what was your career path like during that period before you got started into this independent entrepreneurship?
I was working in kitchens as either like a prep cook or a line cook, or you know, it was always a maker type vibe, and that's kind of what prepared me for the resin game. Is because the resin game is you've got pot time to work with, and you know it's very chef-like. You know, you have to pay attention to what you're doing. You have to know what you're doing, as far as like using the metals, crystal oscillators, dielectric stuff like that, and um, it kind of just prepared me for, you know, this work. But it was looking like, you know, I was going to be working a coffee shop job and maybe like a nighttime cook job for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was not my favorite because, you know, like as a chef, like you're cooking for people you don't even know, and you have to prove to them that your food is good and all this stuff. And it's like, it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of your energy going into that. You know, you'd be surprised, blood, sweat, and tears that go into that food industry worker stuff. And I have a lot of respect for them. And there's a lot of passionate. I've met so many passionate souls in that line of work. You know, and they're working with like the materials of life. You know what I'm saying? They're working with the food element. You know, like, and that's where, you know, I want to start restructuring, you know, our consciousness around that, like having, you know, farm to table vibe is basically what's good. Anyway, um, that was yes, I was going to be a barista and a chef forever. So not for me. Not every.
Yeah, that's and I gotta agree because you know, I was working in the pizza industry for about 6 years before I decided to go independent with my holistic services. And just thinking about it now, because like every now and then I still have that kind of like in the back of my mind, like I need to get more finances, so I'm thinking about going back type of thing. Goes on in the back of my head, and I think about it, and then when I get into like the energetics of it, I'm just like,
The energetics
nah,
of it.
I'm not, I'm not wearing shoes for 8 hours of the day. I'm not gonna wear a work outfit for somebody else. I'm not gonna sit there inside of a building for 8 hours for somebody
It's
else.
not even
I'm not
that.
eat food and sell food that doesn't even align with what I truly resonate with and believe in.
Exactly.
And there's just so much more to it. Not to
That's
mention
the
just like,
baseline of it. I feel like it's, sorry to cut you off, but I feel like the main thing is like giving up your energy to a boss that you're in service for who doesn't even respect you, doesn't care about any of your time, for the most part, right? That just you start to you'll restructure backwards, basically, is what I'm getting at. Is like you'll start to pick up those old programs, and then you're manifesting this old timeline back into your life. Like, how could you do that to yourself after you come this much? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like on top of all of that, it's just like you lose you lose power over your own self. You lose power over your daily schedule and what you do during the day and throughout the week.
You
And then
adopt the slave mentality, basically.
next thing you know, you get sucked into it to where you're starting to work extra hours than you planned on, or
Picking
you're
up
getting
shifts for
called in, you're
people,
like yeah,
hanging out with
do that.
people that you're, you know, not interested in mingling toroidal field energy with, you know, basically.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the Orgonite and this beautiful technology. Uh-oh. Frozen. We have technical issues, ladies and gentlemen. And GoldenSun will be back with us here in a moment. And also, how is everybody today that is here in this live space? How are you all? Thank you all for being here. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop it down below in that question box next to the comments, and we'll get to them for you. I'm over here in Georgia at Jason's Deli. I had to pick up some Wi-Fi while I was out. But yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop it down below in that question box.
Good Lord, we're back.
Welcome back, brother. The vibrations are a little heavy.
Thank you so much. They're intense, most definitely. So yeah, I'd love to move forward with the next question. Did we finish the last question?
Yeah, we did. So the next question I'd like to ask you is, for everybody out there that's curious, and I'm sure a lot of us are wondering, what are the health benefits of utilizing Orgonite in your daily life? Like, what's the mental benefits, the emotional benefits, the physical benefits?
Okay, without getting into quantum physics too much, let's just think about it from a basic point of view. You're a body. You're this body, like for now, for this instance, right? And you're around these waveforms that are, pinging you with radiation, right? And so if you've got something that's creating a scalar wave vortex at the tip, or, white light, the unseeable stuff, you've got something that's taking that trash and recycling it into something that's food, okay? So on a etheric level, that's helping you this way. And so you're able to, your magnesium mineral gets tanked super hard from these devices, okay? So, having one of these around will keep your magnesium levels a little more stable. It'll have you'll have resonance with what is human earth resonance. You'll have resonance with, all the crystals inside, and coming into resonance with healing is, nature is healing. So, you've got that going on. It helps to accumulate what is the life force particle, okay? So there's something called monatomic elements. These are single atom elements. A lot of them in your brain, genital, and other like main life, loaded type, energy centers. So some of these platinum group metals basically help conduct the, super, like the quantum highway, basically, so you can, exchange with what is God, or what is all this co-creation, you know what I'm saying? So at a base level, you're able to, ameliorate those waveforms, come into resonance with life, and accumulate more life force, because you're more, susceptible to your rest state and staying in that rest state, or that theta wave, beta brain wave, all those waves that are, more meditative, you're not in a fight or flight, essentially. So on a base level, those orgones can do that. You can simply use your orgone to, I don't know if you know about Dr. Emoto, but he showed that you can structure the, shape of water, okay? So when you see snowflakes coming down, that is a natural, perfect, sacred geometry shape. So when you have structured water, the structured water is able to enter the cell more easily because there's less surface tension. So now you're more hydrated, right? So that's, once again, it's just giving back to life. You can put, I've got certain devices with tensor rings and torus magnets on them. So you just put this to 4 seconds, boom, 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 shungite, white light from the tensor. So definitely check out, watching my content, the tensor ring, what's it called the video with like the reader, and you'll see that in real time the tensor's actually taking what's maybe coming at me right now, and it is making a null field right here. So it's pretty incredible to see them work in real time and be like, wow, like I can actually just take this ring and put it in my lap when I'm using my laptop, but I'm not going to radiate myself. Maybe even adding to the benefit. It's good. It's good stuff. What do you think about that?
That is incredible. And I know I've heard a little bit about it, but doesn't it also help with like regulating your heartbeat and your blood pressure and helping clear out your energy field as well, like radiation, toxins?
Exactly. So at the seed level, we'll get into physics just on a base level here. So if you know the movie Tron, you can see those square, cells everywhere, right? And that's like this 2D background screen, which everything that is a light projection, okay, is manifested from seed level 2D into 3D, which is everything we see around us, right? So it becomes a light projection hologram and then matter. So if you take the seed level before the hologram projection, before the matter, you take the seed level information and you change it from, distorted to non-distorted, right? You're basically expunging those distorted patterns of consciousness, because everything's energy, everything's consciousness, right? So just by having one of these around, with all the different amplified, concepts of conduction at the angle, scalar wave vortex, spirals in a certain, qubit length, creating a certain frequency, creating that zone, magnetic attraction, capacitance, electromagnetic null zone. Essentially, what you have to do is just have one of these around you within resonance of your aura sphere, and you're going to have, life force accumulation, less distortion, EMF melioration, So the pyramid is, symbolizes focus and removing blockages, okay? So it's great for manifestation.
Beautiful stuff. And I know, there's a certain method to making them, and you can utilize different crystals and their properties to basically design and put intentions into specific pyramids and other devices that you create. So for example, anybody out there that's like trying to have something to generate, self-love or bringing unconditional love into your life, you could get a pyramid that has something like rose quartz, moss agate, bloodstone, amethyst, or if you want something that's like a heavy-duty detector, grounder, and negative energy releaser, you could have something with like obsidian, shungite, hematite,
shungite, black tourmaline, all that stuff. And some of these crystals are creating, on an atomic level, they're creating that life. They're creating that capacitance, that spark. There's a structure, an atomic structure for most of these crystals, and it is tetrahedral. And so when you pressurize the tetrahedral, holes become dispersed. So then you applied that concept throughout the entire thing with tiny little crystals and conductors, and you're creating capacitance, the charge, the spark, in and around this entire thing. And you have these little zones called the electromagnetic null zone. This is the bardo, the gap, the nothing, the void. It's in there. There's no vibrations and there's no linear time. That electromagnetic null zone, you've got that sea level information in all time, in the torus field around you that you're in resonance with. Like, you're just multiplying the concepts so that you can get the most benefit, essentially. Does that make sense without getting too sciencey? It was pretty sciencey. I feel like a lot of in here, though, know some things. Or at least they can hear a word, a frequency of a word, and be like,
Yeah, that makes complete sense to me at least. And you guys have any like questions you want to learn, even like more deeper and logical ways about this? You can feel free to message us afterwards or message GoldenSun. I'm sure you wouldn't mind helping out as you can.
not at all. In fact, hit me up. I got all day for you.
To all about you.
I live to serve the Orgone info. So, yeah, let's definitely move forward. I'm ready for some more questions.
Yeah, I got a question for you also. So what does this process of making the Orgonite look like? What kind of tools do you use? What type of instruments? What kind of ingredients? And also, what else do you create besides just the pyramids?
Okay, so I'll just show you my station real quick. So to make this stuff, you need, the temperature for the resin. It won't cast. You gotta have level pyramids. You got crystals for the piezo and the other elements. You got conductors, and then you need, just your basics right here, and you just put it into a silicone mold right here for your shapes, and that's essentially how you do it. You have to order all your materials ahead of time and mix them together, and then you've got 30 minutes to do your pour or whatever, and you're working with chemicals and stuff like that. So it's really not too wild. It's a lot of fun. I think you can get kind of artsy with it too, with the colors and the crystals and the shapes and where you put everything. So yeah, it looks like this a little bit. It's like you got your pyramid, it's in the mold, and you're like, I'm gonna put conduction on the angles. So you put the wires in. You're like, I'm gonna add some piezoelectric capacitance to this wire. I'm gonna put a crystal right here. I'm gonna wrap it for another spiral. It's gonna compress, and it's gonna transfer the charge throughout the entire thing wherever the conductors are flowing. And yeah, the shungite crystal in the middle, huge conductor. The crystals are pointing at the shungite, activating it more. And then, it just goes on and on, right? So it's very fun. I encourage all of you to, give it a shot. Grab some resin, grab some gloves and sticks, mix it up half and half, throw in, your flakes, and then, some sort of quartz crystal to get a charge going on. You got copper as tetrahedral already, so you don't need a crystal. Copper is crystal. But yeah, you can do all that stuff, and you can do some breath work with your piece and some imagineering, and experience something new. That's what I'm telling you right here. Something divine.
And you actually have some demonstration and instruction videos on your page showing people step by step how to make them, correct?
That's right, yeah. I've got one on there, how to do a magic mix pour. It's like this with pink gloves. It's newer. I've got a bunch of lives on there, just me doing the Orgone. I've got like maker video on my highlight reels. They're really fun. It's a beautiful experience, joyful experience, and yeah, I just am very passionate about it. I love doing it. I like to take whatever I have left over and gift to the community. Like I'll put it in a nearby cell phone tower. I'll put it by a nearby smart meter. I'll put it by a nearby distorted area where a lot of crime might be happening, right, or something like that. Because when you have these quote unquote portals to the divinity, we'll just use that for now, in that resonance, of that resonance, coming into resonance with all the beings around, long distances, you're seeing stuff that's just more harmonious.
Yeah, I believe there's actually a video or a reel on your page of you and Mike going around Toronto, putting Orgone all around the city. That's so
yeah.
cute.
Yeah, we got a bunch of videos of us putting, little pucks like this around Toronto, by the, just into the water, to the plants, around all the electromagnetic waveform producing electronics. You give them to people sometimes even too, or put them in places where they can be accepted by people. Like, ooh, what's that? And you're naturally drawn to these things, and it's beautiful.
That right there is like, those are really simple ways for everybody out there that you can really just like start shifting energy and bringing change to the world. Using technologies, crystals, and other things, and spreading them around areas, especially with high EMF frequencies, to start neutralizing those frequencies. Like, imagine if you go to like a hospital building and you just like put a bunch of crystals or orgonite all around the hospital building. You would help start shifting the energy of that magnetic field.
Feedback loop, positive feedback loop to the local area, essentially. What's really cool I want to share about my experience as well is I've done a couple tests here and there. I've done like the freeze test where you take, the pyramid, and you get some water, you put it in the freezer, you take it out of the freezer after some hours, you got some vortexes in there on these long strands of water, different little blades and mirrors and stuff, and it just goes to show that like the energy is moving as it's freezing, and Dr. Emoto was right, it is structuring. And I've got a couple of those on my page. Feel free to look at them. You can literally see the water almost shooting out the top on the left-hand side as it's coming out the brim, because of the scalar wave vortex and the freezing. It's awesome. Another test I did was I was growing pumpkins and stuff like that back in Oklahoma when I was at my dad's, and I did a puck experiment, and within like 5 feet radius, the puck was able to give the pumpkins greater yield. They had longer, vines and stuff like that. And then your ormus charging, the monatomic elements I was telling you about that are essential for the superconducting highway, to God, what is God's source, loaded up in the melons and the pumpkins and stuff like that, And I've also seen, here's another one. How about this? How about going to the desert and taking these and seeing wild sprouts, grass, new flowers, bud up in what used to be, desolate, cracked land. Now, how in the hell does that happen? Okay, well, it's bringing this, ionizing the air, bringing in the weather patterns. The water's coming back, from the ground and the sky, and then it's, going around the area and it's accumulating the life force. And I've got, if you've been following my journey for the past 2 years, you literally have seen it happen. I've showed you guys, the places I was at, one in California desert and one in Arizona desert. And I brought grass, up to, it was like 0 to hero, these shoots. It was obvious, it's like, this doesn't just roll out, right there, right where I put this Orgone device. So, check that out. You can see it on like, on the highlights, I believe. But yeah, it's just, that's basically what, Don Croft was doing for Organized Africa. It's what Wilhelm Reich was doing.
Wilhelm Reich.
All those Orgone makers and stuff, studying the
Wilhelm Reich is the first founder of Orgone, I believe, correct?
To Wilhelm Reich, the man who discovered Orgone energy and created an Orgone accumulator device that cured hundreds of people from all sorts of diseases. Both of these great men paid harshly for their discoveries, which threatened the established medical industry and their trillions of dollars of yearly profit from cancer treatments. Royal Reich's discoveries and frequency healing machine were destroyed entirely while he was sued, and although he won his lawsuit, he was left entirely bankrupt. Wilhelm Reich was also sued and even thrown in prison, where he died mysteriously. His Orgone accumulator device, together with all of his research on Orgone energy, was also destroyed. Unfortunately,
he rediscovered Orgone in the 60s, and he brought scientists from all over the world to come and study the phenomenon of Orgone energy. And what they found was so it was almost upsetting to them in a way, because of whatever reason. But they put him in jail, and he, like a week or two before he was up, homie was deceased. Okay, we'll just say it like that.
Deceased.
So it makes you wonder. Yeah, he was deceased. The page, you can read Wilhelm Reich's work from James DeMayo, PhD, in my bio. It's the very bottom link, Google Drive link. Just click it. It's 168 pages. And I'm going to be, please follow me if you want to read it. I'm going to be reading it along and breaking it down with the knowledge and experience that I have, so that we can, get a really good, full understanding of what the work has, shown, and what, is to become of it even more.
Beautiful. Thank you, brother. All right, so we got about 5 questions from the viewers, our conscious viewers, our beautiful guests here. And we're going to go ahead and get through them. So, first question we have from our conscious viewers, and thank you all for tapping in right now, being present. The first one is from Endurance 12,
Yeah,
and his question is Orms and Gans good for fibromyalgia?
Okay, so what's fibromyalgia, right? Fibromyalgia is basically when I believe it's when, the muscles, tendons, stuff like that in the body are super inflamed. They're super inflamed, and it makes it hard to do even just daily tasks like doing the dishes or something like that, right? So that's a distorted pattern of consciousness. It's a seed level thing. What is inflammation? Inflammation is disease. What does Ormus do? Aboriginalizes DNA. What's DNA? Seed level information. So, it's healing, and the Gans is also topically, it's a pain reliever, right? So they use a pain patch up to 15 minutes on a single spot with the Gans, and, it's doing the DNA healing, it's doing the on-the-spot treatment, de-inflames, it increases lymphatic system movement. What's that? Sewage system movement of the body, getting rid of the wastes. What else have we got? The Gans also increases cellular metabolism, okay? So powering up the mitochondria of the cell house. How's it doing this? It's sunlight energy. It's non-polar photon energy. It's taking the electrons in the world, the charge, the spark, and it's converting that into non-polar photon sunlight energy. What is Gans? It's a nano sun gas, with this magnetic gravitational radius of 40 millimeters around it, creating its own little universe that you're becoming in resonance with life now. Don't let me go too far on it. Gans and Ormus will definitely help you out, okay, bud?
Wow, thank you for that. Such in-depth science behind that to explain to us all. Greatly appreciate it.
My pleasure. Let's definitely get
Next
on to the
question we have is from Energy Soul Child. How did you test if these potions work, and what did you study? What did you study against or study with?
Okay, so let's answer that one piece at a time. That's 2 questions. How did you test these potions work? So I didn't quite test them as much as I just got some people to, I'd be like, hey, here's this stuff. I want you to use it this way, and I want you to tell me the results. Because experience is knowing, and knowing is truth. Belief requires doubt, okay? So if you believe in something, it's different than knowing, because there's a hint of doubt in that unknowing, that belief. So we had to make sure that we knew that it did this stuff, because I'm not just going to sit here and waste my time on something that's not going to do anything. So I was like, okay, so what does this do? So we did the pain stuff, tried that out. We did energy pre-workout stuff. I got testimonials for days. One lady, we sprayed it on her hands, the Gans, put Gans in here, rose water. She's a massage therapist, and she does a lot of work with her hands. She sprayed it on her hands. She was able to go like this. At first, she had that creaky feeling feeling, stressed, strenuous, you spray it on your hands, and now she's able to freaking move again. She said her pain went from a 7 down to a 2. Okay? How's it doing that? It's moving this lymph, the sewage system. It's releasing the blockages. It's coming into resonance with life. Non-polar photons from the electrons. It's basically, it's being like, hey, I'm going to play a role as your DNA for a second, and I'm going to convert these non-polar electrons into photons, just like your DNA does. So it's like a blank, hologram of DNA that you can, put on your, manifest a hologram and hit some hacks on it, Hit them codes, double X, triple down, square, baby. Let's go.
Love it, man. Flying through this. And just imagine also people like putting your power of the mind, intentions, and utilizing different practices like meditation, breath work, and crystals, all intertwined with this as well throughout your process of regenerating yourself over time. And you have yourself a whole entire toolbox of magical things that you can use at your everyday disposal.
Yeah. And essentially, you are the healer. The body is the healer. These are just the tools that we can utilize to, manifest something faster or greater.
And the key really is just accessing those inner meridian points of your chi. So you're activating your inner chi within yourself, so your body can start being activated and regulating in its normal, created state of healing that is created within the body from the creator. It's not even really about like forcing the healing on our body. It's about really accessing these energy points, these meridians, like they do in Chinese acupuncture, and awakening them throughout the body. So then we have our inner chi energy flowing through us. And then that inner chi energy goes to the places that it needs to feed your body, start regenerating in what we call homeostasis, I believe.
Yep, homeostasis. Yeah, we're setting us up for success. We're creating the space for us to heal, essentially, when we're adding this stuff to our body.
Yeah, and it's like another perspective too is like, imagine if you're getting like a Reiki session or you're going to get a massage from a therapist. Put some of the gans or orms on you right before the session, and then you have yourself an amplification going into that session as well.
Exactly. And you can literally, I want to mention from my experience, the gans is awesome. You can literally spray it on yourself, like if you have a sore back or something like that, whatever. You can literally spray it on there and something will just happen to where it'll just like, when you have an adjustment from a chiropractor, it'll just like click and release and unlock. Like that can happen with the gans. It's awesome. I mean, it does.
That's right.
Happen with the gans, I'm saying.
Next question we have is from Sarah Broadhead, and it is, can you do a crystal grid formation at the corners of your house to form a grid type protection?
Yes, you can. You can do that, and that's essentially what's going on a micro level inside, the Orgone. You've got just tiny little pieces of crystals and little bits of conductor metals and the dielectric resin, creating its dielectric field. You're basically putting these energy cleaning, moving, ameliorating, orgons around 4 corners of your house or more, right? You're creating a fairy ring around you. So now you've got, distorted waveforms trying to come in, but not hitting your aura sphere, distorting it. And you're inside this healing space, aka Merlin chamber. Look that up. You're increasing manifestations. You guys know about fairy rings. People used to go inside, the mushrooms and do prayers to basically, increase the, etheric communication, like the indigenous, natives of America would use tobacco smoke as their, hey, I'm speaking to the ancestors. The smoke is this 2D information with my intention in it. Okay. So these are just, an essence of that. You know, they're able to hold the intention with the dielectric resin, clear the energy with the crystal oscillation and conductor, the Casimir effect is happening. There's a lot of quantum effects happening. So, you know, you can do the crystal grids, you can do the orgonite. But yeah, the orgonite's a no-brainer for sure. You know, I mean, as well as the crystal grids, you know, grab a piece of shungite in the center, amplify it with some quartz crystals on each side, you know, put some conductors in geometric shapes, like a torus or 42-degree angle, you know, Great Pyramid of Giza or whatever, you know.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Thank you. Interested in the spray? Yeah, just, you know, you can message me, or you can, I do recommend you go on to my link in my bio, the Etsy. There's a huge list of information you'd absorb there, and then if you have a question, hit me up, right?
Yeah, and I'll make sure here at the end of the live that we properly give you the space to let people know where to find you and how to get in contact with you, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
And next question we have. Energy Soul Child, can you explain what your gans and ormus potions are and how you came up with the ideas of making them?
Okay, so the gans and the ormus, how did I come up with the ideas of making it? So the ormus, for a while, you know, it's a very sought-after thing once you find out that this is the manna in the Bible they're talking about. This is the Philosopher's Stone, all of these, you know, ancient lores that lead to all this progression in your life, this sought-after stuff. Now you want the ormus. You've heard it does this and that, aboriginalizing DNA, healing. So you're looking for ormus, right? And you find that ormus is, you know, in plants, and they're grown in volcanic soils. You start to understand ormus. For the gans, it was, you know, I came across, you know, a healing brother, I'll just say, who was like, hey, I have this stuff. It helps detox parasites. It helps align with hydration. The one, you know, helps, you know, facilitate the energy healing, charges up the energy center. So I was like, cool, let's try it out. You know, I got nothing to lose. This is a new thing. I heard about Dr. Kesh Foundation back in like 2009. You know, when they're like Wilhelm Reich. You know, people, hey, what's this scan stuff, buddy? Non-polar life force energy. We'll study it. You know, and then they threw all this stuff out because it was, you know, you can't capitalize off this stuff because on a mass level, right? It's too. If everyone had GANs and everyone had no suffering worldwide, we wouldn't, you know, be in this thing that we're in. It's just a puppet sometimes. Anyway, so how you make the GANs is you basically set up a magnetic gravitational field chamber using, you know, certain elements like copper plates. It's the atomic mass difference and the electrical conduction that you set up in a mineral solution, and it manifests the carbons from the aether, which then you you know, extract and stuff like that. So does that answer the question fully? I can't see the question. But yeah,
I'm sure it definitely did. I trust.
Okay, great. Still on.
Next question. What was the concept behind your donut-looking torus piece?
Okay, so pyramids, real quick. Scalar wave vortex at the tip, moving the energy. They make the scalar wave vortex. Spirals, scalar wave vortex in the center. Okay, scalar vortex in the center. Round shapes, broadcasting. Angles, focusing. So this is going to be great for using on the body, right? It's going to be great for, you know, keeping around your food and stuff like that. It's just a different shape that applies the same, you know, you're getting the scalar wave vortex, is what I'm saying, okay? So that's why we do the spiral donut. It's also called sometimes, look up Marco Rodin coil. He actually gets a wrap around it so that it causes a magnetic field to really be pulsed out. So it's just a bigger magnetic field that's working more strongly. I like to use all analog stuff, no digital. So I'm using, piezoelectric capacitance, magnets, and just, certain physics concepts for the healing. So my devices are powered by, science, basically, I guess, concepts. I could, do the raps and all that stuff too, but, I'm focusing on this for now.
Beautiful. Man, I love it, man. You are glowing today. You are glowing beautifully.
Thanks.
I think we have a question
Appreciate
here
it.
too from Jag Too Smooth. It said, I don't know if this is relevant, but would you have advice on healing PCOS?
PCOS. Unfortunately, I'm unfamiliar with that. PCOS.
Interesting. I'm not sure what that is.
I didn't.
Just let anybody know that we're not like medical doctors or anything. So we'll give our best shot at like medical questions.
I did great in biology, guys. Everyone was copying out my papers in biology. I'll say that much. Okay. Can you get the person in question to message me if you like? Yeah, for sure. Just message each other. Communication is key. Okay, let's find out what PCOS is. Here's the GoldenSun.
Polycystic ovary syndrome.
Essentially, and then ovary. So you have multiple, blood clots around your ovary. So what do you need to do? You need to increase lymphatic movement. Okay, that's the sewage system. Your body wants to move all that stagnant waste around and stuff like that, causing that distorted, consciousness. We talked about sea level and stuff already. So, yeah, the ormus and the gans can help you. But these are tools still. You can't just rely on, hey, I've got, stage 15,000 cancer. I'm gonna spray little gans on here and call it a day. How about your habits? That you're, adding toxic waste into your body, or you're getting involved in all this gossip all the time and stuff, like just even that, like what you're consuming, right? So, yeah, it can help. It can definitely help. I would recommend doing the gans pain patch. You can do some internal stuff with that. Experiments. We haven't really done a whole lot of, that type of stuff, but I mean, it lines up, lymphatic system movement, stagnance of blood in the reproductive organ. Like, yeah, throw some gans on there and, take it with your water, get it moving throughout your body, get that lymphatic system back on deck. And I do recommend, just for you, one second, one more thing right here. So this is a healing tool that I recommend everybody check out before you die, because it's freaking sweet. This is the Violet Ray Wand. Okay, so this is a healing modality invented by Nikola Tesla himself. I've used it to heal my back from multiple car accidents, my neck, stuff like that. And essentially, it's these argon tube electrodes that you electrostimulate your body with, increasing lymphatic waste removal, increasing gland secretions from hormones and stuff like that, regulating these things. It's even on topical sterilizer, getting rid of bad bacteria and stuff like that. Energy massage. It's like you're in an oxygen chamber. This literally releases O3. And did you know ozone, O3, readily breaks into O2, which is oxygen that we need. So right here, I'm oxygenating, I'm electromassaging, and you can use this in coherence with the gans and or ormus. I saw a product called Ultimate Ormus. There's both gans and ormus together. Check that out. But yeah, you turn this bad boy on, it gets ripping, and then you start electroing your entire body, and it's a stimulation, massage. It's very healing. Once again, like I was saying earlier, if you got any, cracks that need to happen in your back, you put that on there, bada bing, bada bang, baby. you're good as new. So I would recommend doing some internal violet ray wand stuff, external right over the ovaries if you have stuff like that. And yeah, this can really help you, even if you're like, a sportsman, you like to work out, and you're sore so long after your workout. Increase the lymphatic movement, you know what I'm saying? Charge up them cells, get the mitochondria back on par, So I just want to share that. You can get this device on my link in bio. It is not me selling them, it is Sam. He's an awesome guy. He makes the best product in the market. It's a 30 watt, 3 times stronger than everything else in the market, and I'll stop there. And you can use this to increase the capacitance in the electromagnetic null zone in your orgone, and because you're only getting so much charge off the crystals in here, you add the amplification of this to it. Now you're on a whole new level. I'm telling you, look up Orgone Bubble Tech, Mike Emery. Look it up. I'll give you some seeds.
And also, I'll definitely also recommend as another resource for helping with those ovary issues is receiving Reiki, or also doing sacral chakra energy healing, which are 2 things that I offer and serve.
Yep.
When receiving Reiki, you're getting channeled Christ-like energy or universal healing energy brought into your body, and then the energy gets to move throughout your body system with a natural conscious guidance to those areas through intention, and help bring energy to soothe, sweep away, cleanse, and also regenerate those areas around the ovaries and the hip points. And it's the same with chakra healing. The chakras in the sacral area, they're going to help you with cleansing out any of those organs that deal with the bladder area or the belly area. And it will help you also be able to start bringing a regulation and harmonic balance back to those areas, which will start to automatically bring that cleansing process and balancing back to it, just by having the energy and the chi points open up and activated. So if you mix different things together, do Reiki sessions like once a week, try the orms with water, and do these other different things, you can put a great mixture together and put a routine of it together too, until it consistently becomes eradicated.
When you start making those habits, that's when you really start, that's your timeline settings, guys. When you start making those habitual movements, and that's why people get stuck in, drugs and stuff like that, and, the reward system working against you, your dopamine working against you, because you're getting that hit of dopamine, you recreate the habit, you keep going, you got to stop that, reprogram it, and then before you know it, you're shifting timelines, because your decision, to align with something greater, your willpower is powerful. So, you get those habits going in, you show the universe, it's like not outside yourself, it's in you, what's good, and you'll do well. So I trust that.
And you have 2 really good resources right here for this process if you're wanting to embark upon experiencing these healing modalities. For example, you could order products from GoldenSun here, get pyramids, get the gans, start utilizing them, and then you can utilize them while also receiving Reiki sessions or meditation and chakra sessions through me. And you can just have a consistent routine built just between me and him as your healing mediums, and see where it goes from there without having to go to a doctor, get pharmaceuticals, and do these other things, because we do know quite a bit about what we're doing, and we know the benefits that can come with it, as long as you're open to it and believe in it as well.
For sure, yeah. Doctor's job is just to, take care of those lost at sea. He's a doctor. You see what I'm saying? He's putting you back into his system. So You can choose a pharmaceutical medical doctor, or you can choose, you know, your good old, you know, old-fashioned, you know, shamanic-ish, or whatever you want to call it, doctor, right? Couldn't think of a word, so I use that word. I'm not saying I'm a shaman by any means, people.
All right, brother man. So we'll go ahead and kind of bring it to a close. We'll ask you a couple of quick questions before we wrap up. And my first question is, what is your vision of the future with this passion of yours and creations? And how can we all support you for this vision of the future?
Okay, so here's what we're gonna have. Okay, I'm not gonna say I want this. I'm gonna say this is what we're having. I'm gonna say it like that because I feel it's more powerful. What we're gonna have is essentially these Orgone devices all over the energy points in the world, in resonance with all of humanity, nature, right? So far we've done so well, you know what I mean? We've got Orgone in, like, you know, around 15 plus different countries. We've got the United States darn near covered up in Orgone. I'm working on Canada right now, and yeah, we're basically doing Don Croft, Organize Africa worldwide, baby. Okay, and so, you know, how you can help is simply just getting involved. Like, you don't have to, you know, essentially, you know, buy anything. You know, just getting involved, and, you know, helping us align with those who are, you know, prepared to, you know, get involved at that sort of level. You know, gifting, you know, creating. People who want to create come to me. They start creating. You're creating this huge domino effect. Like, imagine if I had 30 people under, or beside me, I should say, creating all these things with me, and that huge spread effect in the timeline for everybody, right? So, you know, just going about it, spreading it with some love, a little bit of heart here and there, right? But eventually, you know, I want, you know, the world to be, you know, in the suffering, right? You know, we don't need to be hungry. We don't need to be unloved. You know, we don't need, this doesn't mean. I mean, yeah, it serves us in the shit show of duality that we've created and agreed upon for ourselves for the purpose of entertainment, of course. But, like, how much longer do we want to keep foisting these distorted patterns of consciousness onto ourselves and others and stuff like that? It's only fun for so long, right? The separation thing. Anyway, so free energy technology, okay? So having these life force accumulating scalar wave devices, increased manifestation, and, you know, total life goodness, and then, you know, reintegrating the Tesla tech, you know, like free energy stuff, power your home for free, you know, get to work for free, or whatever, you know, journey for free, right? So they're doing that with, like, hydrogen cells, like with cars nowadays. You guys saw the Flint, Michigan guy with the water and whatnot. Like, it's out there and it's here and it's real, and it's not even being suppressed very much, you know, for even for much longer, you know, the advanced tech. So eventually, you know, it would be great if we could finally, you know, get into that superconducting highway where we can actually do stuff like they're seeing in some of the military experiments, I'll just say, because I'm not going to be too crazy on the next stuff.
Yeah, and if anybody's curious about how to make shungite water at home, that's something that I can teach you on, and I can do a step-by-step visualization and video to show you how to create your own shungite water. I've been doing shungite water for about 5 to 6 years now, and it's been such a beautiful resource. Many different benefits, and if you have any questions, just feel free to message me, and I'll give you the knowledge behind it and how simple and easy it is to have yourself shungite water. It gets rid of fluoride, every metal, and it also is something that lasts for years, and you don't have to continue to buy water or buy plastic. There's many benefits, but just message me if you have questions about it. And
I want to touch on the shungite water.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so shungite's really cool. So shungite's a conductor and a mineral, and it has a C60 carbon atom in it, and so the C60 has that void energy in it, and so it leads us back to what is euphoria, right? So the shungite, you can just set it next to your water even. It doesn't have to be necessarily in the water, and it will mirror its spiritual energy into the water, and the dielectric water is going to hold that memory, and then you're, integrating it and taking it into your body. But yeah, I researched the Buckminster Fuller Buckyballs C60 for the shungite. But yeah, I've been drinking shungite water for forever. So essentially, sea level stuff, the sea level distorted information is getting expunged or reacted out, right? So if you're going to consume a poison, but it's been reacted out already, there's no reaction going to happen in your body. So now it's not poisonous anymore. So this is essentially what's happening.
Oh, the physics genius down here.
Yep. Vortexing is a big thing with water too. Vortexing in a strong electromagnetic field. If you do that with minerals, that's how you create ormus, essentially. So I always recommend you vortex your water, structure it with shungite, orgonite, tincture rings, etc. In intention. You can just sit there and pray to your water, love your water, and be the tech. You can be the tech. We're designed to be the tech. We have dielectrics, conductors, piezoelectric capacitance, and we're charging our breath. There's a capacitor up here called your brain, right? Anyway, be the tech, baby.
And final question is, where can everybody find you? What type of links, resources do you have? And also, do you currently have any deals or sales going on?
Yeah. So, I've always got code Euphoria going. It's 10% off all capitals, code Euphoria. It's just Euphoria, capitals at checkout. 10% off everything ever. It's just my little gift to you. Thank you for coming into resonance with me, you know what I'm saying? Sales right now, I've got a couple pyramids up there for $100 because you're just sitting in the shop for so long. So we're moving them through. But yeah, they're on sale right now. I'd go snag one or two if you don't have one yet. Will you refresh me on the rest of the question? It was kind of long.
The question? It was just where can people find you and have access to products?
Find me.
And then your sales.
Thank you so much. So you can go to my link tree for all this stuff. You can go on my link tree. You can find the Etsy at the very top. It's my personal handmade page for all this stuff. Lots of information there. At the bottom, you'll find the Wilhelm Reich studies. You can also hit me up for academia.edu papers I can share with you, so you can get that quantum if you really want to dive deep into it. My page is loaded with, vast information, experience, stuff like that. So yeah, don't be afraid to shoot me a DM either. I will respond, and normally in a timely manner. So, yep. I got a YouTube going right now too. I just started it, so search GoldenSunorgon on YouTube, and I've got my Ultimate Ormus video up. I'm going to be sharing all the other videos there, so they're easy access, able to share. And then right after this, I'm going to be reading, like I said, the Orgone handbook. So, and I'm going to be breaking it down. So stay tuned if you want to learn more. And I'm going to be doing some giveaways sometimes in those. We're going to be giving away stuff like, little spheres with shungite, iron magnetite, quartz, veins, ormus, so many resonance with the
if you want to do another collab giveaway, I'm definitely open to it.
Yeah, we'll do some giveaways.
Sweet. Sounds
probably next week. Maybe next Sunday could work for us.
Yeah, we could do that.
Definitely here for that. So
be on the lookout, everybody. We're going to do a collab giveaway probably next weekend or next week, and you'll be getting access to some of his smaller devices along with some free sessions through different practices that I offer. Yeah. And give you guys an experience of
Euphoria Gans too. So if you want to try the Euphoria Gans, I'll also be doing that as a giveaway. So not just that, and this will be an opportunity for you guys to really experience for yourself all this knowledge and wisdom that we've shared today. And for anybody out there, I also have a sale going on too. I'm doing a buy one get one free for a Reiki session. And I have 30-minute and 60-minute sessions going on. So this message for me, if you're interested, it's pinned on the top of my page. And I'm also offering intuitive life guidance as well.
where we look at shadow work, patterns, trauma healing, as well as some other things. These are both on my page. Just message me if you're interested. And for anybody out there that would like to support the both of us, we are open to donations here at the Process of Clearing Layers series. So each episode, you guys are allowed to send donations if you'd like. And all donations, which I have pinned below, my Cash App and PayPal, they will all get split between myself and the guest in every episode of the Process of Clearing Layers. So for this episode, if you guys send donations, they'll get split between myself and our good brother GoldenSun, and we will be helping support his cause as well as my cause for holding this space and generating this Process of Clearing Energy, or Process of Clearing Layers series.
I just want to say real quick, you guys, I've worked with Marcus before. I've done a full chakra reactivation, cleansing, healing with him before. It was very powerful. Helped me, manifest more of the type of abundance that I wanted to manifest in my life. It was for prosperity as well, and that's what we've seen from it so far. When we use the tools, we use the tech during that, we use the imagineering thought form management. Subconscious doesn't know the difference, man. And so, you're flipped into what is all time, right? And then, you're manifesting this new timeline. And, we've done some trauma healing too. Me and Marcus have done, some work together. So I just want to say, Marcus is good. Like, you guys, definitely tap into his divine source, because he can help you, maybe more than you know, so give it a shot.
Thank you for that. I really
just want to say that, bro.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, we had a very powerful week together this past week, and I'm really grateful for it. But that is it for this episode 2 of the Process of Clearing Layers, and I'm your host, Marcus, aka Christolight, and this was our first authentic soul guest, our brother Quinton, Goldensunorgon. Go ahead and follow him if you're not. Feel free to message either him or myself with any questions regarding services for myself and regarding products and knowledge behind the products for GoldenSun. Greatly appreciate all the support. Thank you all for tapping in here on Instagram Live. Thank you everybody on YouTube that will be tapping in, and everybody else in the world. I will be back next Monday at noon Eastern for another episode of the Process of Clearing Layers. And I will be sitting with a good sister of mine out of Ohio who does QAHT energy healing, quantum hypnosis therapy healing. And that will be next Sunday. So tap in and be on the lookout. Here this Tuesday, 2 days from now, I'll have the full episode of this live with some more background behind it on YouTube, Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. Thank you all for tapping in.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. And just tune in 5 minutes. I'm going to be on doing the Orgone explanation. Much love to you guys.
Pop in there, guys. Much love, wholeness, and balance. Love.
Much love.
Have a blessed day, brother.
When they see my aura, they know I'm the prophet. We be getting to it, they be packing watch. And the Stella tell them I don't need a rocket. She be flowing through my body, gonna illuminate my nighties. When they see my aura, they know I'm the prophet. We be getting to it.